Hello, my name is Ella Gentile. I am an estate planning attorney, and I've been doing this for 16 years. I practice in California as well as Florida. We say that planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it. And speaking about doing something about it, we know that a lot of folks haven't. They haven't done anything about this. We know that it is a dreaded task. And because of that, we have processes in place that will help you get this done for you and your family. We make it so that it's easier for you to come in and see us. We have a quick intake process, and we have many available meeting times. And our consult meeting is a long educational free consult for you and your family. We will answer all your questions. Finally, we want to make sure that we are budget conscious for you. We know that families have limited resources. And so if you want to get your estate plan done, we want budget to not be your greatest concern. We know that estate planning is not just for you, okay? It's for your family and especially your children. And so when you are doing your estate plan, you're planning for yourself, sure, but you're also planning for the other members of your family, and they might have special needs, they might be your pets, they might have other conditions that we need to discuss, and so that's what that free consult is for. A lot of people say, I think that if something happens to me, the courts would get involved, and who has the right to take my minor children? The answer is almost anybody. In the state of California, almost anybody can petition the court to become guardian of your children. It hit me how big of a possibility this was when I saw my son, who is my extrovert, waving to strangers and saying, hi, stranger. And he was just so personable. And I thought, oh my goodness, all these people could one day show up at court and be like, yeah, his parents intended for me to be his guardian and take over their life insurance proceeds and raise him the way that we see fit. I know that that's a little bit scary for you. So don't let that happen, okay? The court that gets involved is called the probate court. It's a department at the courthouse, to be honest. And the problem with the probate court is that it's a slow process and it's public. Everything that happens there is public. It's relatively expensive. It's about 3 to 5% of your total fair market value assets will go to fees and costs and things like that. So a lot of people are like, how do I avoid this? How do I avoid probate or just anybody asking to be guardian of my kids? And the answer is you have to fill the void, okay? You got to put a plan in place. By having a plan in place, you're telling the court, no need to get involved, no need to establish the default or the California rules. I know what I want best for my family. Speaking of your family, many people will have differing estate plans, okay? Your neighbor's estate plan is not necessarily going to look like yours, but mainly these are the elements of an estate plan. There should be some sort of guardianship provisions for your minor children. There should be a revocable living trust if your assets require it. There should then be a pour over will, durable power of attorney, and healthcare directive. Part of our guardianship process includes a family protection plan. We recognize that your minor children are not going to be verbal enough to say, take me to Auntie's house. She's the one that mom leaves me with when she leaves town, okay? And so we have ID cards that you keep in your wallet that will tell the first responder where to take your minor children if something happens to you. Your biggest document or your most powerful one is possibly your revocable living trust. But a lot of people say, what is that? Do I really need it? The answer is probably. A revocable living trust is just a contract you put into place during your life. It takes care of you. And then if something happens to you, it takes care of your beneficiaries. In addition to your trust, you also should have a will. If you have this particular will, it's called a pour over will, and it's a redundancy document. A will by itself does not avoid probate, okay? But a pour over will can say, oh, we meant to put everything into the trust. If there is something that didn't make it into the trust, pour it over as opposed to taking us through a long probate process. Additionally, what if you're alive? Right? Your will doesn't take effect until you're dead. But what if you're alive but incapacitated or detained or unavailable? Who has the right to make some government and tax and legal decisions for you? And the answer is your agent under your durable power of attorney. And then your physical body should be taken care of by your healthcare surrogate designation. The person and the decisions you make under this document are the ones who will speak for you. A lot of people remember Terry Schiavo. She was a 40-ish woman, maybe 42, and she ended up in the hospital in a coma, and her husband said, pull the plug. She wouldn't want to live like this. And her parents came into town and said, we raised her with certain religious beliefs, and we've got to give her a chance to keep fighting in the state that she's in. And the point of Terry Schiavo is that the courts got involved and it turned into an entire media circus. And whatever that poor woman's choices were, they for sure were not to be on national television with tubes and, her family fighting over her. And so this document would have made that decision more clear. A lot of you are like, oh, okay, I get it. I got to have a plan in place. I got to get this done. What kind of attorney should I look for? And I would say you should look for an estate planner, okay? You don't want somebody who dabbles, and you possibly want somebody who's going to give you a free consult, because then you can meet with them and decide if they're a good fit for you, for your family to work with. I would also say pick somebody who does probates and trust administration, because they know what they're protecting you from. Sometimes people tell me, I'm going to Google some forms, or I'm going to DIY it, or I'm going to use one of those national financial people who come up with DIY forms to do my stuff. And that's what I would say, please don't do that. Those documents, first of all, I review them for free, and I've never found them to be 100% right, okay? So as bright as you might be, this is not an area of law that you should do yourself. But additionally, if there is a problem, we won't find out about it until something happens to you. And when I have to take those DIY forms to court and do the probate on them, I assure you, we don't get any sort of discount on the fees. We still have to pay the full probate fee with these terrible DIY forms. If you want to talk privately, if you want a free consult, please reach out. We really work hard to keep our program of good value for you, and we will even offer you a free 3-year review. We're also letting you know we're going to custom design your plan to you and your family. This is not a mill where we just churn out the same things over and over again. We're going to tell you what your family probably needs. You're going to tell us what you guys would prefer, and then together we're going to design something specific to you. We're even going to give you a discount. Remember, I was talking about how we want to lower the threshold and keep that dread of this task at bay. And so we're going to do that with pricing as well. We'll even let you pay in payments if that helps your family. We don't want cost to be something that keeps you away.